Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a real head-scratcher from the Indian auto market. Why in the world are cars from competing brands starting to look exactly the same?
You know that feeling when you're on the road and you do a double take? You see a Maruti Suzuki Baleno drive by, and then a little while later, a Toyota Glanza, and you just kind of think, wait a second, the doors, the windows, the dashboard, they're practically twins. Well, let me tell you, you are not seeing things. This is a very deliberate strategy, and it goes way deeper than just these two cars. And get this isn't just some small side project. The scale here is what's truly mind-boggling. When you add up cars like the Glanza, the Urban Cruiser Tizor, and the Rumion, these rebadged Marutis actually make up more than half of all Toyotas sold in India. That's a staggering number, and it just goes to show how central this whole strategy is for them.
So yeah, this is no accident. It's not some weird coincidence. It's a calculated industry practice, and it actually has a very specific name, badge engineer. So what in the world is badge engineering? Well, to put it simply, one company does all the hard work, designing the car, building it from the ground up. Then another company just waltzes in, swaps out the logo, the badge, maybe changes the grille a little bit, and sells it as their own. Now, this slide here really nails a key difference. You've probably heard of platform sharing. Think Volkswagen and Skoda. They might share the skeleton underneath, but they build completely different bodies on top, so the cars look totally different. But badge engineering, what Toyota and Maruti are up to, that takes it a step further. They're sharing the skeleton and the body. It's kind of like the same person just wearing a slightly different hat.
So how did this whole thing become so massive? Well, to really get why it happened, you have to understand that Toyota and Maruti were these two giants facing completely opposite problems.
This table just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got Toyota, a global powerhouse, famous for these premium, rock-solid cars like the Innova and Fortuner, and they're a leader in hybrid tech. But their problem, they just could not figure out how to crack India's massive market for small, affordable cars. Then, on the other side, you have Maruti Suzuki, the undisputed king of that exact market. Their problem? They needed access to high-tech stuff for new emission rules, but developing it all on their own was going to cost a fortune. It's like each one had the exact key to the other's lock. So the deal they made back in 2017 was just beautiful in its simplicity. Maruti, you're the master of making cheap, small cars. You handle the manufacturing. Toyota, you're the leader in hybrid stuff. You provide the tech. Each company just plays to its strengths. A total win-win scenario. Okay, so this sounds like a brilliant strategy, right? A total win-win. So why isn't every car company doing it? Well, here's where things get really interesting, because it turns out it's not that simple. Others have tried this exact playbook, and they failed spectacularly. Let's just take a look at the cautionary tale of Renault and Nissan from back in the 2010s. They tried the same thing. The Nissan Micra was rebadged as the Renault Pulse. The super popular Renault Duster was reborn as the Nissan Terra Nano. On paper, it was the same idea, but in reality, none of these cars really caught on, and the whole strategy just kind of fizzled out. And the reason this whole thing failed is fascinating. It all came down to customers asking one simple question: why does this other version even need to exist? People were just confused because, in their minds, neither brand really had a clear, distinct identity in the Indian market. This slide right here, this reveals the secret ingredient. At the time, Renault and Nissan's brand identities in India just weren't that sharp. They didn't have those iconic go-to cars, so they just ended up fighting over the same small group of customers. Toyota and Maruti, though, that's a completely different story. In India, Toyota means premium quality. It means Fortuner. Maruti means value for money. It means Swift. These are powerful, distinct identities that they've built over decades. And that's the magic trick. The exact same car appeals to two totally different buyers. The secret ingredient wasn't the metal or the engine. It was the decades of trust, of aspiration, of meaning that are baked right into those logos. Which brings us full circle, doesn't it? Right back to the mystery of that price tag. What exactly are you paying for when one of these identical twins costs more than the other? So let's go back to our first example. The price difference between the top automatic models of the Maruti Baleno and the Toyota Glanza is roughly 35,000 rupees. So here it is, the big question. Since the cars are basically identical under the hood, what are you really getting for that extra 35,000 rupees? And here's the answer. You are not paying for a different car. You are paying for a different meaning. You're paying for the prestige, the customer service experience, the trust, and that peace of mind that comes with the Toyota badge. It's a premium for the brand's story and everything it stands for. And that leaves us with one final, pretty interesting thought. From a business standpoint, this strategy is a huge success for both companies. But for you, the customer, is a brand's meaning, its story, and its promise, is that worth paying extra for? That's a call only you can make.